Lee, you left IBM and started a very successful startup, Pryor Corporation, and after that you ran a number of second stage startups. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences?
Certainly, I would like to do that. And I would like the audience that's watching this webinar to know some of the things that I learned during those experiences. What's this dog doing in my lap? Well, anyway, now that we're rid of the dog, I want to tell you some stories, some horror stories, some secrets that I learned about how to run a company better. And I've decided that having had the experience of running 5 of them, there were a lot of common problems. And so I wrote a book called The Savvy Entrepreneur. This is available on Amazon on ebook, it's on audio, and it's on hardcover print. Now, the webinars are going to be about some of the things that are in the chapters of this book. I tell you that I saw some stuff you wouldn't believe. You just wouldn't believe. So I'm going to tell you the first story in this first segment of the seminar. I was asked to go out and look at a company in Seattle. It was a supplier to Microsoft. There were 3 venture capital companies in the company and had invested in the company, and things were all going the wrong way. So I met with the CEO, the founder, good guy, but just not, he wasn't doing things correctly and properly. So I wrote the report back to the 3 VCs, and they said, we're going to have you come in and run the company. We'll move him up to chairman. They did that because they knew about my experiences in the past of success with this kind of company. So I came in, and the very first day, I sit down in this former CEO's office, and I'm sitting in a Herman Miller furniture desk, and there's Herman Miller furniture all over the place. And I'm saying, what is this? I mean, Herman Miller furniture, that's like Gucci is the women's shoes. You don't do that in a startup. In a startup, you have an Office Depot table as your desk. You don't use other people's money to glorify yourself on a Herman Miller. This was just the first thing that I saw. And I thought, uh-oh, this is part of the problem. In about 5 minutes, in came a plant watering lady. Now, this was a attractive plant water. I looked out the window. There was a green van. She had on a green smock, a green watering can, and a green cap. And she started watering the plants in this former chief executive's office. I said, oops, there's the second thing. I can't believe this. They're probably sending all their mail by FedEx. And he probably has a CEO1 license plate. I cannot believe this. So fast forward, we get that company turned around, we have it sold, and so then another group of venture capital, this time it was private equity, asked me to run another company. It was in Silicon Valley. I was divorced, I had the time, so I liked moving around, different experiences. So I went down to Silicon Valley, now in San Francisco actually, and was running this company when I got a telephone call from Fred, a great venture capital buddy of mine, who was on Sand Hill Road, where there's more money than in the rest of the world in terms of venture capital. And he said, could you come down here and have lunch with me? And I'm about to think about putting maybe $10 million in this second stage startup, and I'd like to have you take a look at it with me and see what you think about the CEO. So I go down to Palo Alto. We have a sushi lunch and go over to this company's. And we go into the lobby. Now, here's Fred with $10 million capability to invest in this company. And we tell the receptionist that we're here, and Fred's going to be there to talk with him for an hour or so. And he doesn't show up. And it goes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And the receptionist says, well, he's on a very important long-distance call. And I'm thinking, important long-distance call? What's more important than $10 million? And so finally, he still isn't showing up. And I hear the vestibule door, the front door open, and in walks a plant watering lady. And I said, wow, what's this? Looked out, there was a green van. There was a green cap. There was a green smock. She comes in and she starts watering the plants in the lobby. I said to Fred, "Hey, Fred, we got to get out of here. Forget this. Forget this investment." He said, "What are you talking about? You came all the way down from San Francisco. I've got this money. I've heard this company really needs money badly. I could make a good investment. You're out of your mind. What do you mean get out of here? We've only been here 4 minutes." I said, "Okay, but I'll tell you later." So we go in. The net of it all was that this guy was the kind of guy you just didn't want to invest in. He didn't have his nose on the bird, and he was really, really not understanding what makes a company successful. So we left, and we're driving back to Sand Hill Road, and Fred turns to me and says, "Lee, how did you know? I mean, I was in there. We were in there an hour, and I'm not going to make this investment. But how did you ever know about the fact that I shouldn't? How do you so pressing?" And I said, "The plant watering lady, Fred.